Hi, it's Billy Dunlap with GoLaurens.com and GoClennon.com. As you can see behind me, it's pouring down rain outside, so I'm here at the Ridge at Laurens for week 3 of the Laurens County Football Show. Right here on Friday at noon, Coach Clay Hendricks, head football coach at Furman University, will be the featured speaker at the Laurens County Touchdown Club. Again, that's Friday right here noon at the Ridge at Laurens. Now, let's talk about last week. Week 2 of the football season, we want to forget about it. Laurens County teams, all 4 dominated. Last week, all 4 teams outscored 215-31, took 4 losses. 2 teams were shut out last week. Now, let's talk about this week. Week 3 of the football season, we've got Aiken coming to Clennon for a big matchup. Both teams still looking for their first win, so something's got to give on Friday night. One team's going to pick up their first win of the 2017 season. Now, Clennon comes in 0-2 after 41-0 loss to Greer last week. Clennon had a hard time balancing their offense last week. 0 yards passing. Talked to Coach Andrew Webb. He said, we got to do a better job running the ball. We got to get better angles when we run. We've got to be more consistent in our running game, because when we do that, we can pop passes out and balance the offense. So Clennon, look for them to do a better job of that this week against Aiken. Now, Chris Holmes, 84 yards rushing. Mark Wise, 80 yards rushing last week for the Red Devils. So those two continue to pound the ball, doing a good job running the ball last week. Now, Aiken comes in, they're also 0-3. They have losses to White Knoll, Strom Thurmond, and the Academy of Richmond County in Georgia. Now, they're a run-oriented team led by Jeremiah Green. Last week, 16 carries, 175 yards, and 2 touchdowns. They played 2 quarterbacks last week against Richmond County. Now, they only threw for 47 yards, but they also threw 3 interceptions. So Aiken going to be run-oriented. They're going to come right at the Red Devils, so should be a great game at Wilder Stadium Friday night at 7:30. Now, let's talk about the Laurens Academy Crusaders. They ran into a buzzsaw last week, 62-0 loss to defending Skeeza State champion Wardlaw Academy. Now, the Crusaders will go to Andrew Jackson Academy in Earhart, South Carolina for a 7:30 kickoff on Friday night. Laurens Academy comes in 0-2, struggled last week against Wardlaw, only had 52 yards of total offense. Andrew Jackson Academy comes in 1-0. They played Jefferson Davis Academy last week, picked up the win 26-6. So 7:30 Friday night in Earhart, South Carolina, the Crusaders will go to Andrew Jackson Academy. Now let's talk about the Laurens Raiders. They're going to Irmo in the Columbia area, Friday night kickoff at 7:30. Laurens comes in 1-1 on the season after a 61-24 loss to the Chapman Panthers last Friday night. I was there. Chapman dominated the Raiders. You can see why they are the defending 3A state champions, but they're also ranked #1 in 3A in 2017. Troy Dendy did a great job on the ground. He was one of the lone bright spots for the Raiders. 21 carries, 122 yards. Dwayne Martin also did a good job running the ball, 9 carries for 90 yards. The Raiders defense struggled. Gave up 530 yards of offense to a very high-powered Chapman offense. The Panthers scored 35 points in the second quarter. At halftime, it was 49-10. It was a wrap. Game was over. But they played the last 2 quarters. The Raiders were able to get some momentum, score a couple of touchdowns in the second half. Now, the Raiders have got to balance their offense. They didn't throw the ball very much last week. They've got to get a better balance on offense, throwing the ball. We know they can run, but they got to be able to prove that they can consistently pass the ball. The defense for the Raiders just has to get better. You can't give up 530 yards of offense, even to a high-powered offensive team. Raiders got to get more pressure on the ball. They got to do better at penetrating the line to get pressure on the opposing team's offense. Now, Irmo comes in 3-0 on the season. Their best start since 2005. They're out of Region 5, 5A. they've defeated Nation Ford, J.L. Mann, and Chapin so far this season. Led by quarterback John Reagan. Reagan has 7 touchdowns on the season. Also led by running back Kendrell Flowers. He has 316 total rushing yards in 2017. Wide receiver Rakeem Heath, we remember him from last year, a very solid wide receiver, 5 touchdowns. That's wide receiver Raquan Heath. On the defensive side of the football, linebacker Julius Land, he was a monster last week. 15 tackles and 2 sacks against Chapin. They're also led by Trajan Jeffcoat. He has 8 sacks on the season. So a big game for the Raiders to get back on the winning track. Friday night, 7:30, Irmo High School. Now let's talk about the PC Blue Hose. They're at the Citadel, 6 p.m. on Saturday. That game's on ESPN3. The Blue Hose come in 0-1 on the season. They took a 51-7 loss to Wake Forest last Thursday night. Citadel comes in 1-0 on the season. They defeated Newberry in their season opener 31-14. So a big game for Coach Tommy Spangler on Saturday, 6 o'clock at the Citadel on ESPN3. Check those guys out. Now, remember, Touchdown Club right here at the Ridge on Friday at noon. Coach Clay Hendricks from Furman will be the guest speaker. We'll also recognize Players of the Week. $15 to come in the day of the meal and enjoy the Touchdown Club. Should be a great day Friday at noon. Hey, that's going to do us for week 3 of the Lawrence County Football Show. We got 4 big games in the county this week. We're looking for 4 W's from our county teams, and we'll look forward to seeing you at the game.